devrait avoir des photos, normalement. So Uganda, I'm going to do this in English so that they can understand. Uganda is a pearl of Africa. And this is what Winston Churchill said when he set foot in Uganda in 1907. He said, "For magnificence, for variety of form and color, for profusion of brilliant life, bird, insect, reptile, beast, for vast scale, Uganda is truly the pearl of Africa." But Uganda discovered oil in its ground. Is it going to be a curse or a blessing? Is Uganda going to catch the so-called Dutch disease? Because if it does, all the efforts, all the labor is going to go into the oil business, depleting manufacturing and agriculture. So is it going to be a curse or a blessing? The leadership in Uganda has decided to avoid the disasters of Venezuela, of Chad, of Nigeria, and to have a diversified economy based on 3 pillars: tourism, oil, and agriculture. But what type of agriculture is Uganda going to have? Is it going to have the so-called modern, industrialized, mechanized agriculture? The president said he wants a full monetization of agriculture. In a country where 70% of the people are farmers, half of the population is under 16 years old, and agriculture contributes to only 3% of GDP, what type of agriculture is Uganda going to have? And to discuss this from someone from the ground, with a natural farmer from Uganda, I would like to introduce you to Patrick Otim and Flora Alting from northern Uganda in the Gulu district. Hello.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
So Patrick, you are 28 years old, you're a father of 2, you're a farmer from Gulu district in northern Uganda. North Uganda has been in peace for only 10 years. Before that, there was a war opposing the government to the Lord's Resistance Army of Joseph Kony. Northern Uganda is a region where 800,000 South Sudanese refugees are hosted. Uganda has 40 million people. It's food for thought in terms of welcoming refugees. And North Uganda is also affected by climate change, with the highest temperature recorded in history in this region. So Patrick, please, tell us a little bit about your life, about your past, and about your present.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to be here, but I'm somehow not happy to tell you this story. I, a man who grew without a father, from 1988, I've heard that my father left me when I was in the womb. My father was a soldier, and they fought very hard to chase Amin from the power. And when they chased, he decided to leave the army and come back home. So when Museveni took the power, they decided to come and look for him, to go back for the work of soldiers. And he decided not to go. There they killed him. So I grew with my mom, and my mom inherited my uncle, the brother to my father, and that stepfather of mine cannot afford to facilitate us in all what we wanted, because his wife, which was first brought, cannot accept him to come to do everything for us. So there, I struggled with life, and I achieved to do agricultural activity where I used to plant crops like cassava, rice, beans, maize. So like cassava and beans, we use it for our food security. And this small scale rice, we use it for what? Commercial activity, like paying school fees and whatever. So it was not so easy, and up to now, it's still not easy. Thank you.
Flora Alting, you're the founder of Youth Movers Uganda. You have chosen to teach young people agroecology. Why agroecology?
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. There are three critical things why we decided to teach our community agroecology. The most critical one is that agroecology protects the environment, and that is what we want to protect for the children of today and also those of tomorrow. The other second thing is about the money. Our community members are very poor. They cannot afford things such as fertilizers or pesticides, but we teach them the basics, how they can use plants and all the other simple things that can kill the pest and also improve soil fertility. The other thing is about health. We realize that it is also very important that we produce crops that are healthful, that are free and are protected. We wouldn't want to use a lot of chemicals that would destroy and in the end would also affect our health. So those are the critical things under agroecology. Thank you.
Patrick, what are...
Thank you.
Flora, you said to me something. You have a wish for agriculture in Uganda. How do you want it to become?
Surely, one thing that we would want the government to do is to make agroecology global. And in this case, we would want the people who should champion it, such as members of parliament, politicians at the lower level, so that they take this message of protecting the environment. The other thing is that we need people to be trained. Agroecology is a new concept. Not many people understand it. But if we train the community, they would really understand and appreciate why we need to protect this environment. And the other thing that I would also want to add is about the input. There are a number of things that we need to consider when we are doing a lot of agroecology. Such inputs will help the community to also learn on their own to safeguard their environment. Lastly, what I would say, one thing that is critical for any human being, food is never grown on air. Food is grown on the soil. And food security is very critical for any human being. And in this case, we want to have our community at least have 3 meals a day, or at worst, 2 meals a day. Because other than that, there will be no hope for the people whom we are raising now, and even the youth whom we actually rely on to make sure that issues of farming is promoted. Thank you.
Patrick.
Yes, please.
Patrick, you do agroecology, but you're facing challenges. What are your daily challenges?
Thank you. Northern Uganda was the food basket for the country. But nowadays, since we are having so many challenges, we cannot afford to apply our food for Ugandans for so many reasons. One, we are having prolonged drought, which is now happening due to cutting down of trees, which many people are now doing for charcoal, others they are doing for firewood, is now becoming too much. That's why we cannot now afford to facilitate the whole Ugandans. Secondly, we are also having challenges because sometimes you may not even afford to get seedling only. You may struggle. Youth Mover tried last year. They give beans, maize, and we plant it, and we have got so much quantity because they taught us also how to carry on agroecology and whatever. So we're having so many challenges, but I cannot mention all now.
The climate change effect, productivity, but what about the prices?
The prices
do you sell at right prices?
It's very low, very low. That's why I say we cannot now sell all because there are so many. Price of commodity is very low. We can produce, but if you go to sell, you find a produce buyer, they buy in a low price and they sell outside in a very less quantity. Mean that we are now facilitating the rich people, but we the poor, we suffer a lot.
If you are given today for your land a tractor, chemical fertilizers, pesticide, forget about organic manure, forget about your home and pesticide, you're given the chemicals, the tractor, some GMOs. Do you take it, Patrick?
For me, I can't take all those because I would have taken tractor, but the way I've seen tractor is doing in our village there with other people who are trying, you will find that tractor is taking the lamb soil down while the browner one is coming up. At the end of 2 or 3 years, you find your garden cannot produce anything. It's better I go with agroecology and some other activity apart from tractors.
Flora, if I was to give you a wish for the future of agriculture in Uganda for your country, what would you wish for?
One thing that I would wish for is that the government should really politicize the issue of agroecology, because that is where we will actually have sustainable development and also sustainable agriculture. And then the other component is about ensuring that food security is available for all the families. Other than that, we will always not be in position to even feed our children and also educate them. And to me, agroecology, the fact that it protects the environment, and it is the environment there where we live, it is all that we need to do to make sure that we protect our country, Uganda. Thank you.
And Patrick, I have another wish. I had 2, in fact. So what about a wish for you, for your family? What is your wish, Patrick, for the future?
My wish for the future, I wish my children to eat 3 times in a day, because by now they are eating once. I can go in the garden in the morning. I come around 2. I cannot make them even to eat. They wait until evening. So if they can eat 3 times in a day, I think I will be good. Secondly, I wish my children should study more than where I've reached. That is my wish.
Ladies and gentlemen, Patrick and Flora gave us their testimony. They came all the way from northern Uganda to speak to us and to share their lives. They are facing the challenges of climate change. They are facing the spectrum of poverty. But Patrick has children, and what he wants is a future for his children. What we need to do now is to support their approach, to support their vision of their future. No one can impose their views on them, on what they want to do for their country and how they want to work on their land. We don't know everything. We can't be right. They are the one owning their land, and it is because their vision will keep Uganda being the pearl of Africa. Thank you.
Patrick Otim, Flora Arling et Stéphanie Rivoal. Merci beaucoup. Merci à vous.